Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Vulnerability Time. This is episode 7, where today we'll be talking about pornography and video game addiction and healing and insecurities. But first, let us meet our special guest, Anton. Anton, welcome.
Thank you very much, Josiah.
Yes, yes. So, tell us Anton, one thing really cool. So you are from Sweden, correct?
That's correct.
That is so cool. Never had a special guest from Sweden. I've never met anyone from Sweden actually, so I think that's pretty cool. How is it over there? How's y'all's weather like? Does it snow? Is it hot?
We had a bunch of snow a couple of days before Christmas, but it all melted away, and then it kind of froze over. So we had a lot of really blank ice, making it really hard to see what was slippery or not. So a lot of
Mm,
people had accidents on traffic and such.
yeah.
But currently it's cold and windy, but unfortunately no snow.
Gotcha, gotcha. So is that like normal, like that it snows?
I would say it's fairly normal that we have some snow, at least where I live. We have some snow before
Hmm.
Christmas, then it usually disappears for around Christmas time, and
Right.
then it tends to come back
Yeah.
either a little bit before New Year's Eve or a bit afterwards.
Right. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so something that this I just personally wanted to know, um, is so the U.S. where I am currently in, we have states, and I know Canada has provinces. Um, what does Sweden has? Is it just a country, or is it sections? What?
Um I'm not sure of the English translation of it,
Hmm.
but I think it's kind of similar that you have the whole country is separated into different regions
Gotcha.
called LAN,
Oh.
um, and then each LAN is broken down into smaller things
Hmm.
called commune,
Okay.
and all those act uh, together in one LAN, and then it gets bigger.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. That's interesting.
Yeah, sorry, it might not have been the best explanation, but
No, that made a lot of sense. That was perfect. That was perfect. Wow. And so you're currently in Sweden right now. I mean, that's where you're from as well. Born and raised.
yes.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, folks, someone from Sweden, that is so awesome. Um, So, Anton, you're also an anti-porn advocate.
Yeah.
What is that? And by the way, folks, I want to mention I reached out to Anton because of his boldness and his courage. There's an Instagram page called Fight the New Drug. It's about porn addiction and just it's a great support page if y'all want to go check it out. And I will have the Instagram information in the episode description. But that's where I met Anton, and I reached out to him. So, Anton, you're anti-porn advocate. What does that mean for those of us who don't know or might want to know what that means?
Being an anti-porn advocate is, to me, I am generally against pornography,
Hmm.
and I would like to enlighten people and society about the potential harms that can arise from pornography and the consumption of it,
Hmm.
not only towards the consumers, but also towards the people in the industry.
Mm. Hmm. Ooh. What what harm does it do to people in the industry?
So
'Cause I have no clue.
there is. quite a bit of evidence, and I think there's been some recent I'm not sure what word for it, but some recent things going on in I think it's the American courts about,
Mm,
for example, Pornhub
mm-hmm.
taken taken to court for posting videos of people well, getting assaulted
Mm-hmm.
or having well, getting raped, having sex without consent, getting filmed
Mm.
without consent, being drugged and stuff like that.
Oh,
So the porn industry is profiting from well, victims of sexual abuse
wow.
and human trafficking.
Yeah.
And sure, not all, perhaps not all pornography industries like that, but I think it's very important to highlight that this is unfortunately a big part of the industry.
Whoa, I never really thought about it like that. Whoa, that is wow. Because, folks, as y'all know, that is something that I struggle with is pornography and webcam. More so webcam than pornography, but both are pretty high up there. And Anton, I always, well, I don't know if it was Fight the New Drug that enlightened me on this, but I think it was like a month ago. I found out that like you know the a lot of porn videos, um the ones with actors that are
Yeah,
it's not amateur, it's like there's camera crew and all that stuff is a lot of the times the individuals could just be if the producer doesn't like a certain scene, they'll make them do it over and over and over until they like it. And
yeah,
so it's kind of like, in a way, it can end up being a form of assault, because you're forcing someone to do something that they no longer want to do. Um, but on cameras, they have to act like they're enjoying it. But we don't
yeah,
really see that it took 17 takes.
yeah,
Um, yeah, in order to get that one product. And I can't even imagine how the individual might feel. And it's not, saying um, everyone, who goes through that is going to hate it. What I'm saying, folks, is more so that is a possible reality.
yeah,
And it's nice to be aware of it.
yeah, exactly. I'm not saying every part of the porn industry is like that, but
Right.
unfortunately, there's confirmation that
Hmm.
um, at least a fairly big part of it is like that, and I think that's horrible.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
really makes you like ask the question, um, like, is any porn that you watch like, can you
Hmm.
be certain that this individual is really doing it because they want it?
Right. Hmm. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just thinking right now, Anton.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's fine.
I so what does you mentioned that a little bit about what porn consumption can do for the consumer. Um what 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 does it do to the consumer, to the person watching?
So I can mostly speak about my own personal experience
Hmm.
about this because I think that's where I have the most knowledge. And of course, I have also read and listened to a lot of things also, about other people telling what it has done to them. But
Hmm.
um, at least for me, porn um, has um, made me feel really bad about myself,
Hmm.
real insecure about myself, both who I am as a person and also me physically.
Hmm.
I struggled a lot when I was younger and growing up because I felt lonely.
Hmm.
Um, and felt undesirable.
Hmm.
So one of the ways I escaped away from that was escaping into pornography or
Hmm.
video games.
Hmm.
But pornography was an easy escape for me, and it made me retreat into myself and kind of numb those feelings.
Right, right. Yeah, that form of escapism. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and also that self isolation and escape kind of led me to, well, become like less socially outgoing.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
know I had a bunch of friends who tried to pull people together and come up with activities and hang out. And my addiction was something that I chose to go to instead of hanging out with them because that had been such an easy comfort to go to that um, selfish like self-soothing for me.
Hmm.
So I retreated away from people and I got emotionally numb. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anton, I would that's the thing. Um Something that I'm learning about in class, and I want to say I've always subconsciously known it, but I never really verbalized what I'm about to say is, it's something that you just said, and it's something that I now that I look back on my life, now I can see it. And what that is how loneliness, a lot of the times, is an introduction to addiction. Um, and that's, that's something that, um, it's not really talked about. Loneliness, that can have, it can have significant impacts on an individual, whether that be, positive or, negative. Um, and one of the ways, can be, addiction. Um, it's something that's very overlooked, not really, at least in the American society. Loneliness is kind of stigmatized. Like, you can't be lonely, oh, something's wrong with you if you're lonely, you're either not desirable or something like this. So it's like we're just supposed to put on a front of, um I'm not lonely, I have it all together. I can't talk about like that I feel lonely because people are going to look down on me and say that, oh, you don't love yourself, or there's something you are doing wrong, and that's not that beneficial because I just feel like a lot of the times, um, we we neglect the fact that as human beings, um, how we've survived over the years, even from like the caveman days, you know, we needed each other. We needed some type of companionship, close, intimate companionship, and so it's of course we're gonna have these feelings and desires for love and companionship. I mean, that's how humans have survived, over the years. Um, but it's kind of stigmatized to talk about that and to
yeah,
say I'm lonely, and so it's like we're just even more, vulnerable to going to other things to get what we need. We can,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I get that, and
I do that. 1000%. I do
yeah,
that. I do that. 1000%. And Anton,
yeah,
something that's I really just noticed like 2 days ago. is for the past what is this, December, okay, August, September, October, November. Okay, so for the past 4.5 months, I have
Yeah.
watched pornography and or webcammed majority of the days for the past 4.5 months, multiple times a day, and it's very rare that I didn't do anything. It's very rare. But on my good days, it would just I would just do it once on my
Yeah.
good days, and there weren't many of them. Um, and after December 15th of this year, 2022, well, this is, folks, this episode is being recorded in 2022. It will be released in 2023, probably like February. But anyways, just give people a little time context, Anton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so I have realized, because December 15th, I said I'm not going to do it anymore. Or at least I'm going to last up until, the day before New Year's. And then that New Year's feeling will give me the motivation to be like, New Year's resolution, I got this. I'm gonna, um, because I don't know, for me, and I just feel like I feel more motivated when it's New Year's.
Yeah.
Because
Kind of
if
like
I
a
do
fresh
it,
start.
yeah, that's what it feels like. Because I don't have that outlook of every day is a fresh start. I don't, it's very hard for me to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I've not realized, Anton, how addicted I have become to pornography and webcam. Because once I stopped doing it, 4 days without doing it, I'm like, what the hell is happening to me? I was like, I don't feel like myself. Like have a deep urge to watch or to do
Yeah.
webcam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It
so
speaks to something like something primal.
yeah, exactly. It's like I'm getting the right thing from the wrong place.
Yeah.
And as human nature works, and that's also what, encompasses the word addiction. As human nature works, our body is trying to survive. Therefore, our body will do things that are killing us in order to survive, even though we are going to die. Um, for example, that can be, hard on drugs.
Yeah.
We're trying to get some form of sanity,
Yeah.
even though, eventually it could kill us, but our body is trying to survive in the moment. Um,
Yeah.
it could be McDonald's for,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying this to like give shame or anything. I'm just saying it to like just help, better,
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
yeah, better understand the point that I'm trying to say. But that's how the
Yeah.
human body works. And I will say, mine came from these past 4.5 months came from loneliness because I had just started my master's, college school. Um,
Awesome.
thanks. And I, went to a state or am in a state that I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
I'm starting
New.
over.
Yeah. Yeah. New territory, new people.
Yes. And I mean, I did not realize how I all the things that do come, the reality that can come with, moving to a new environment. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to, yeah. And
Yeah.
so,
You feel lonely. You feel vulnerable. You seek
yes.
comfort in things. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
So,
just, it feels so weird that we kind of seek comfort or some kind of company in something that is so solitary like pornography. And like you
mhm,
said, not trying to shame people or
right.
make people feel bad, because I don't have anything against people who consume pornography.
Right.
If, if people do that, that's their choice.
Right.
I would just like to try and help raise awareness about like
Yes.
things going on in the industry and the psychological and physiological effects that
Mhm.
can happen.
Yeah. What are some of the psychological effects, if you
Some of
could
the
think about
psycho
it?
hmm? Sorry.
No, no, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Some of the psychological effects are it can change the way that you look at people, that you
Yeah.
start objectify people more, see them more as objects. They become more an object for your desire.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize myself being in that position, even though I denied it to myself, and I was trying to tell myself, even though I was doing this, that I am a good person. I don't objectify people.
Mm,
But the very matter of fact was that is exactly what I was doing. So there was this kind of weird dissonance
yeah.
between what I thought, and what I actually did.
Yeah. I'm smiling because you literally have said almost exactly what I had to tell myself the other day. I had to be honest with myself because I'm so against objectifying people. But that is something that I've been objectifying a lot of guys, and I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Um, but I was too focused on um them not objectifying me.
Hmm.
Um, but I was really, and I do feel like porn has definitely had a huge role in that. And that's the thing. It's like it kind of like sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like oh man, it's
Yeah. And I also don't think it's only like pornography, because I think it has kind of like bled out into society in other
oh
parts,
yeah.
like commercials, TV shows, music, you
It's
name
over
it. Like it's,
sexualized.
yeah, the over
Yeah.
sexualization of society.
Hmm. Yeah. Like it's like when you look on like you said, like TV, you see a certain type of body figure
Yeah.
mostly. On commercials, it's a certain type of body figure mostly.
Yeah.
And then you got like these music videos, and these songs that are really, really popular nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, it's like it's kind of has like a lot of the same theme, at
Yeah.
least here in the American culture.
Yeah. Sweden is kind of very influenced by American culture, I would say, especially
Oh,
music.
hmm.
So I do get what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, it's man, and it's like it makes so much money. Like it's so much sex or sexualization is a billion-dollar industry.
Oh yeah. For
Yeah, I mean,
um,
right? People are gonna want to click on the music video when they see the guy shirtless or, you know, uh, or just women having barely any clothes on.
yeah.
Like I mean, it's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's the industry. It's very they're very smart. They're
Oh
they're they're
yeah.
wickedly wise.
Oh yeah. They know what they're doing.
They
They
know
are
exactly what they're
they
doing.
are completely aware.
Completely aware.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely something that's it gets me frustrated because I have fallen into their trap willingly and unwillingly. I
Yeah.
have my role in it.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, Anton, this, what we talked about earlier, was pornography with the video game addiction, and you
Yeah.
you mentioned to me that they go hand in hand. I would like to know more about that.
Yeah. So I came to grips that I had a porn addiction, but also that I have a video game addiction,
Mm-hmm.
and they go hand in hand. Um, Kind of like um, hmm, I don't really know how to explain it. I'll try to. I have a loose structure, if that's okay, to how to
Yeah, go
try and
for
tell
it.
it. Um,
The
but it
right
kind of.
people will understand. The ones who
Oh
need to
yeah,
hear this, the ones who need to hear this the most will understand exactly what you're
yeah,
saying.
okay,
So
yeah,
don't even try to make sense. Just do your
all
best.
right, good, because I babble all over the place.
Same.
I, yeah, good.
Yeah.
There were two. But to me, my video game addiction was the first addiction I think I got, and I think I got it fairly young, probably when I was around 5, maybe. because I got this disease when I was young. Um, I don't know how to pronounce it in English, or if
That's
it's the correct name, but I think it's something called Henoch-Schönlein.
mm-hmm.
Henoch-Schönlein. It's basically something when your nerve system kind of starts to attack this small,
Right.
um, what do you call blood vessels in your body.
Okay.
I, I
Oh,
think that's what it
Anton,
does. Yeah.
um, you you don't have to say you don't have to say everything in English. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
this is a global podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Okay.
yeah, continue.
Yeah. Okay. So I had to go into the hospital for a while, and I don't remember how long that was. But what I do remember is that they rolled in a TV with a Nintendo 64.
Okay.
And that kind of got me hooked because I think it became sort of an escape from the hospital environment for me to escape into the video games that they had. And when I got out of the hospital, my parents were nice enough to buy me my own video game system, and
Mm,
we brought it home. And I think that's how it all started.
yeah.
So I had this escape from the hospital, which kind of followed me back out from the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then I continued to go back because I do remember that as I grew up, um, my parents kind of had to struggle with to get me away from the screen. And they were trying to get me outside to play and do other things that did not have to do with video games. And as I got older and eventually got my hands on my own computer, um, I had already been exposed to pornography by accident as I was young,
Mm-hmm.
and so um, I had kind of like looked for it
Right.
without any real access to it. But then
Mm-hmm.
now I had this computer, just my very own portal into the internet.
Yeah.
So I kind of started to go out from there. And it became this thing that when I started to get bored of the video game I was playing, feeling understimulated, I
Mm-hmm.
would kind of go over to pornography
Yeah.
and then go back and forth and back and forth. And eventually I would give myself two computer screens so then I could play video games and watch pornography simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I, to me, somehow playing video games kind of enabled me to watch pornography and became some sort of excuse to watch pornography
Mm-hmm.
because I would go to the computer to play video games, but I more often than not ended up watching pornography as well.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And that that word stimulation, that understimulation,
Yeah.
um, I've heard that that how the brain can work sometimes. I don't know if it's sometimes. How about this? I'll just say exactly what I've researched is our brain needs stimulation, and once it stops being stimulated, we go on to the next extreme to get the stimulation. And I
Yeah.
know that, like, I mean, I've read that, when it comes to for example, like, I'll just use porn as an example, that an individual, they can watch a certain type of porn, and then that becomes dull or boring, so
Yeah.
they go on to something a little bit more extreme,
Yeah. I
because it's something
recognize
new.
my own behavior in
Yeah.
that as well. Yeah. And like you said, I also recognize that in my video game
Hmm.
behavior, getting bored of one game, looking for another one.
Hmm.
Always like they say, like usually when porn addicts are looking at porn, they're not looking at one simultaneous video. They are looking for the next thing to get that kick, to get that high. And I
Yeah.
do kind of recognize that in my video game addiction as well, looking for the next the next new awesome video game that's gonna blow my mind away
Hmm.
and like
Yeah.
just suck me in like it did when I was younger.
Right, right. I hear ya. And that's something that I do want to applaud really quick, Anton, sorry. I'm t-
That's
I'm
fine.
I'm horrible with names. I'm so sorry. Um
You are forgiven.
yay. um is you you know what, actually I'll just save it to the end. Actually, I'll save that to the end.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it to the end.
Right.
um but I also do want to mention, when it comes to, I lost my train of thought. I'm up here just stalling because I lost my train of thought. Um, so let's see. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm gonna take about five
Right.
seconds to get my train of thought because I had something really good.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to make some noise in the meantime just to not have it silent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can't think of
Do-do-do-do.
anything, but okay. So I do want to mention, when it comes to um healing and insecurities,
Yeah.
um how does that relate to your journey and your story, with the addictions?
Um, so my insecurity and my addiction go also pretty much hand in hand. One fuels the other,
Hmm.
or at least fueled the other. And the healing process is still ongoing, but I feel I have gotten better so far.
Hmm.
But I still that it's still a process,
Right.
because, like I said, like I isolated myself because of my addictions
Hmm.
and felt lonely as a result of it.
Hmm.
Um, um, Shit, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. I just
Yeah,
I want you to know, if you remember it, you can interrupt me.
yeah,
I remember when we first had, chatted about, doing the podcast, and I was like,
yeah.
Anton, I know I'm gonna get some healing from you. I need you to know that I'm not just saying this. I genuinely look up to you.
Thank you.
You're saying a lot of things that I oh, now I'm getting emotional. Oh God, I might start crying. You're saying a lot of
That's okay.
yeah, it's okay.
I,
You're saying a lot
I,
of the things
yeah,
that, I resonate with, and that I know I'm not alone in this, but like it feels like I'm alone in this because I don't hear, you know, people talk about it.
yeah,
And when they do talk about it, which is very rare, but when they do talk about it, it's just like, oh no, I
yeah,
don't I don't do that anymore. I don't watch that anymore. And I don't know if they're telling the truth or not.
yeah,
So, but something that you just said is, it's still a process. And that's the
yeah.
thing. Practice makes progress, and progress is all part of process. And I really needed that reminder because honestly, like, I don't want to say beating up myself. I'd just say I've just gotten kind of hopeless,
Yeah,
when it comes to this. Um, and it's like no matter what I try, I feel like it's not enough. Um, and also, there have been times where, have I've been in better places when it comes to this addiction, and then I willingly, purposely, you
yeah,
know, dip my toes in the water, and then I end up drowning again. Um, so I also get in my own way, and then I also feel like the addiction, I just feel hopeless sometimes.
yeah.
Um, Most of the time lately. Um, and
I feel for you.
yeah, and have you felt like this in the past before? Have you ever felt like hopeless when it comes to the
Yeah,
addiction?
yeah. I do know what you mean about the things
Hmm.
feeling like you're feeling hopeless, and it feels like you're not enough.
Hmm.
Like like you can't do enough. Kind of feels like, at least
Right.
that's what it feels like to me. Like I'm not there's not enough of me to fix things. I don't know
Right.
how to put words to it.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Can't
but
do
I
it all on
do.
your own.
Yeah, exactly. But I do know what you mean about getting stuck and like feeling like
Yeah.
getting in your own way and getting
Hmm.
hijacked by thoughts that you don't want.
Right.
And my therapist actually told me
Yes, we love therapy.
yes,
Yes.
therapy is awesome.
Awesome.
But my therapist gave me this thing that I think is I'm still working on implementing it, but I
Hmm.
do really like the idea that he said, like, imagine that your thoughts and these feelings that they are all like a bunch of cars going
Hmm.
alongside you on the highway, and you stand next to the highway, and when you have a thought, you see the car coming, and you can watch it go by. You don't have to
Hmm.
interact with it, and sometimes the car stops and you go in for the ride for a bit, and then eventually you realize that you don't want to be here, so you step
Hmm.
out. So he said that it's all right to let these things come,
Hmm.
but you can choose not to like get
Hmm.
trapped by them.
Hmm.
I think I butchered
Damn.
that analogy enough.
No, that makes sense. Sorry, I got speechless. I was like, damn. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Oh my gosh. Dude, that wow.
Yeah,
Who you know, you yeah, thank Anton, literally thank you. Thank you. I support you. I support you. I'm grateful that, and I'm honored that you are a guest, a special guest on this podcast, you know. Um
thank you.
Also, folks, I do want to mention one, isn't his accent super cool? Like your accent is awesome.
Thank you.
It's 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 well, to us it's an accent.
Yeah.
I don't know, do I have an accent?
Yeah, I would say you have an American accent
Yeah,
to
see,
my
like
to my ears.
see, and that's funny because like here in America, we're like we don't have accents. Like, well, unless we have like a southern twang, but we I just think it's really funny because like we talk about like how, you know, like folks from other countries when they come here,
Yeah,
we're like, "Oh, I love your accent." But when we're here, we're just like, "Yeah, we don't have an accent." But it's just funny like, hearing people from all over the world and
yeah.
to them they don't have an accent, but to us they have an accent. It's just really interesting. So I don't know what American accent is. I don't know what that is. So I just think that that's pretty cool that you said that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe the difference between an American accent and a stereotypical British accent. Perhaps the British
Hmm.
accent sounds a little bit more snobbish, but that might
Hmm.
just be because I'm colored from the English like teaching books that we had in school, where
Yeah.
everybody was speaking quite like this.
Yes. Yeah. It was. It. Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Um, I have a question. Okay. 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 So, how do you say? Wait. Okay. So, what language do people speak in Sweden?
Swedish.
Swedish. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you say hello?
Hello,
Yeah.
just regular hello. Um, you say hey,
Uh,
H E J.
oh, H-E-J.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
You can
dope. That's
say
pretty dope.
we have a bunch of different words for it. You can say either hey, hallå, tjena.
Oh, that's awesome. I just love it. I love hearing like other accents and languages. Super cool.
Yeah.
Um, Anton, I know you also have another Instagram page, correct? That you just made with you and your girlfriend, right?
Yeah, so we
Tell us
have
about that.
this. Yeah, we created this other Instagram page
And it
called
will be in the episode description, folks. I'm sure y'all already know that by now, but just FYI. But yes, sorry,
yeah,
continue.
that's fine. It's called Ren Hjärna, which means clean brain.
Oh.
And it's also kind of a play on words for my part because I think puns are funny. So it could be kind of interpreted as deer brain, like the animal deer,
Mm-hmm.
but also like deer brain.
Yeah.
But it's a basically a page where we try to spread the message about the harmful effects of pornography, but in Swedish, because we do know that there's quite a bunch of Instagram pages like Fight the New Drug,
Mm-hmm.
and also you are spreading awareness about pornography and such, but it's mostly in English. So we will try to get the ball rolling even here in Sweden,
Yeah.
where I personally feel that we don't really talk about pornography that much either. And
Mm.
whenever people do it, it's kind of like more in a positive way. At least that's uh, my how I perceive
Right.
things.
Mm-hmm.
That there is this
Yeah.
kind of like very porn positive
Right.
outlook on things.
Right. And that's also something really cool that I like that you mentioned. How you see a lot of Instagram pages about fighting pornography and stuff like that, but from what you just said, a lot of them are in English. So
Yeah,
that's why that's why I think it's really cool that you're gonna be more inclusive, with your Instagram page to help reach people, where you're
yeah,
from, and where you currently live, in Sweden. Um, and that I want to tell folks, follow his page. It will be in the episode description below, but also share it, folks, because you never know who's going to need to hear it. And it's great that the pages are out there, but it is important that it's not just people who speak English that struggle with porn, or we need to bring awareness, inclusive awareness. So if you're listening to this, just go ahead and share the page. It can just be to one person. It doesn't have to be to a trillion. But it starts there. So if this page or if this podcast has inspired you, please share Anton's Instagram page. I believe in it. Um, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I follow it,
thank you.
folks. I follow it. So just want to throw that out there. I don't understand like what it's saying, but
Yeah,
I follow it and I like the photos, because I support so hard what you're doing, and
yeah,
I think it's such a beautiful thing.
thank you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna continue, of
Yeah, we
course.
were actually thinking about because we were talking about this that since you had kind of like noticed it, we were
Mhm.
thinking about perhaps adding an English translation in the descriptions if anybody should find it.
Oh, okay,
Um,
yeah.
just maybe.
That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ooh, also speaking of Fight the New Drug, I remember I had contacted them for season one,
yeah,
and they had messaged me back. But this is when I didn't have any episodes
yeah,
out yet. I was just in the process of recording. I need to message them back again.
yeah.
I need to. I keep forgetting to do that, but um,
But hey, man,
but
it's awesome. I think it's awesome that you have like been in contact with Fight the New Drug, and I
yeah.
think you are awesome because what do you do because of what you are doing.
Thanks,
Um,
Anton.
yeah.
I look up to you. You're a leader.
Oh, I don't think I would agree to that one.
Well, you know what a leader is. I just don't think a leader is someone who we look up to and does everything right and is on that pedestal. I think a leader is someone who we look up to, who admits, hey, guess what? I fail. I fall every now and then. I get back up, or I'm falling and I don't want to get back up. Or, I feel like a leader is just honesty, and that's what you have shown. So to me, you're a leader. I think that's what a true leader is because, I mean, people can't relate to perfection. We relate to real, and we need to look up to a real human, a real leader. It's just kind of glamorized and glorified that we look up to a human who, you know, like they're on TV and they do everything right, and
Yeah,
then the moment we see a mess up, oh, they're canceled or they're a bad person. It's just like, but the truth be told is we're
people
humans.
are yeah, people are flawed. Like people do mistakes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
But it's like
yeah,
who can continue, uh,
yeah.
I'm
I
at a
get what you
loss for
mean.
words. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard. I think a lot of people like compare themselves to fiction,
Mm-hmm.
and the people we see on media, this very sort of like edited and controlled like
Yeah.
view of people that we see.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like the leaders are the ones who, oh, well, this is vulnerability time. I can say whatever I want. But I was about to say, I feel like true leaders are ones that aren't on TV. Because I feel like media is a huge pedestal,
Yeah,
and the media profits over, um, can profit over chaos. So
yeah,
it's like, a person can be great and glamorous, but the moment they make a mistake, oh snap. That's when that's when gets people talking.
yeah,
It's conditional love. It's just like,
yeah. People are looking for that thing to like make them outraged and get angry
yes. Yeah. And
and
so
just
that's what I think is really beautiful. And that's why I think that you are no, I know you are a leader, Anton. Um, because I look up to you, you know what I mean? And it's like I'm not looking up to perfection. I'm looking up to honest. I'm looking up to human. And that's how, I feel like a lot of people are inspired and are impacted by being able to look up to someone and say, guess what? They messed up too. I messed up. We just often talk about the end, like when we see people on the stage and they're all glamorous, but we don't talk about what's behind the stage, and it's like, what happened before they got on the stage. And so we look at them, they're all pretty nice and dressed up, and that's great to look forward to, that's great to look to, but that's not all. It's like, what if I'm going through something behind the stage, and I
yeah,
feel like now I can't get to the stage because I look at this person who's already on the stage and I just see them on the stage.
yeah,
What if I need to relate? What if this person gave up 5 years before they went on the stage and I gave up?
yeah,
So I need to be able to look at that leader that I look up to and be like, you know I'm feeling like this right now. They felt like this, and look at them. They still were able to succeed. Therefore, I can succeed
yeah,
because, and so when you had mentioned that you also had felt, a moment where you were, or moments where you were hopeless
yeah,
and that you were stuck and that you got in your own way. Dude, that's why I went speechless because I needed to hear that. Like, I really needed to hear that, you know, because I
yeah,
feel all alone right now, and it just, so thank you. I needed to hear that. Seriously. You're a leader, Anton. So, soak it in. Yes.
yeah. I'm having a hard time soaking it in, but thank you.
I know, right? Same. Like, it's hard for me to fully receive
Yeah,
compliments. I don't know how to do
I get
that.
that. Yeah,
Like, to say
I
thank
get
you,
that.
right?
Thank you.
Like,
Yeah, I get
um,
that.
right? So, but
It's
yes,
something to work on to be able to
yeah.
receive that.
Yeah, that's my plan is to go to therapy um for the new year. I love therapy. I go every year.
Oh yeah,
Um
more people need to do therapy.
oh yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing because there was an episode that talked about that. And
Yeah,
it was just I don't want to spoil it. It's funny, but anyways, yeah, I'll send you the episode. It's funny. But yes. Um I'm
that's fine.
sorry.
That's fine.
I'm just having my own inside joke because I know about the episode that I'm talking about, and it was just
Yeah,
funny how you had said something verbatim. And it's funny, but yes, some people need to be going to therapy.
oh
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
People need to. We need to do a lot of things. More people need to go to therapy. More
Hmm.
people need to start talking about their feelings and how they
Yeah.
like what they need. More people need to get in contact with themselves, start thinking a bit outside of themselves. Like
Yeah.
I think more people need to be like learn about awareness and stuff.
Yeah.
We need to,
Exactly. One thousand
yeah.
percent. And
That's what I liked going to my therapist so much about because it has really helped me to see out of myself and try to start to reach out
yeah.
and receive more because I had the problem with like being emotionally underdeveloped because I have escaped
Mhm.
away for so long.
Right.
So whenever things started to go like whenever I was faced with an uncomfortable situation, like I would just stonewall. I would just
Yeah. Shut down.
go, yeah, shut down, go numb. I would just become Mr. Robot Man.
Yeah.
And I am still struggling with that from time to time, and I'm trying
Right.
to get better and not retreat into myself.
Right. Right.
And sometimes that might require that I pause a conversation
Yeah.
and be like, can we back up a bit because I am feeling pressured or like I'm retreating into myself.
Yeah.
Can we back up a bit and change the tone a little bit? And
Hmm.
that way, I'm going to be able to meet up with you
Right.
on an emotional level.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you, Anton, because that's you're what you just stated is like, learning yourself. And that's
Yeah,
something that I noticed. The more I learned myself, the more I was able to learn others.
yeah,
um you know just it helped build my empathy. It helped build, and I was raised in a household where men don't have
yeah,
feelings. It's just like the only feeling that can be associated with males are anger, because men, they play rough and they get dirty and they and it's
yeah,
yeah. So that was like, but other than that, any other feelings, it's kind of like we are all humans first.
yeah,
And humans have feelings, like before we
yeah,
are before we are male or female or identify with a gender. We are all humans first. Like innately we are just humans first, and humans have feelings. So it's
yeah,
like people would say, "Oh, be a man." I was like, be a man, be a man, be everything but human." I was like,
yeah,
"But we're humans first." So,
yeah. And I also don't get where this idea of like be a man has to entail like have no emotions, like
right,
be stoic. Like
right,
I I get what you talked about when you talked about your your upbringing.
mm,
I personally didn't have the same experience,
mm-hmm,
uh, but I do recognize that experience from people around me.
yeah, yeah,
And even if I didn't have parents that were like that, I had friends that were like that
yeah.
because
And
I
they
was a
have
sense.
media
Yeah,
influences.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was a sensitive kid. I would cry easily, so people
Mm-hmm,
would kind of like make fun of me because I would like cry easy and I was sensitive.
mm-hmm,
So it's like you say, it's like from a very young age, people are just being hit over the head
yeah,
with the idea that be a man has to be like bottle up your emotions until you
Right.
eventually burst.
Right. Yeah. And it bursts.
Yeah.
It does burst. That's
Sooner or later it bursts. Either you shatter or you are unfortunately going to shatter somebody else. I
mm,
think it's an unfortunate thing that could happen.
yeah. Oh yeah, I've been on the giving and receiving end of that. Um oh yeah. Um but Anton, you know what I'm going to try to do? I'm going to you know what, I'll just talk to you about it after the episode.
Yeah.
So when I release when I end this episode, stay on
Yeah.
the Zoom call, okay? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, with that being said, folks, I just want to once again thank our special guest slash leader, Anton, for sharing his vulnerability, inspiring us. You know, okay, let me personalize this. I want to thank Anton for inspiring me. I really needed someone to look up to. I felt so dark and so hopeless the past couple days, especially because yeah, I messed up. I messed up yesterday twice. Um, so of course I felt very hopeless and given up, and especially because it was my goal. December 15th up until New Year's, you know, I can make it. That's all I got to do and then I can do this better. And I messed up. So I just was like, I'm hopeless. Um, but folks, you just never know who is a leader because not every leader, you know, it's gonna have, you know, millions and trillions of followers, or not every leader is gonna be a politician or in the White House. Sometimes it's just people. I would say most of the time it's just people. Let's be honest, because I don't know. I'm just biased towards politicians. Let me shut up, though. That's another. I'm gonna shut up.
That's
But
another thing entirely.
oh, 1000%.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Anton, thank you, because I was. Thanks for being a light, because it got dark yesterday, especially 2 days ago. So thank you. Um, and with
Yeah.
that being said, folks, this is Anton's episode, Vulnerability Time. Oh yeah, follow his Instagram pages and follow Fight the New Drug. And remember, folks, share this podcast if it has helped you or if you feel like it will help someone else. Share it. Thank you for listening. Oh, also, I am coming out with a second book, folks, eventually. um, but you can buy my first book on Amazon. It is called It Is Spoken by Trenton Epizon. Epizon is spelled Epizon. It just really relates to what this podcast is talking about. The book has saved people's lives from, you know, not wanting to end their lives, mine being one of them. So, this podcast in the book, it's all about healing the world, um, and it's y'all who do that. Um, might make the platform, but it's y'all who, you know, share it. This podcast, it's not my podcast, it's our podcast. My book that's on Amazon, it's not my book, it's our book. Literally, I don't give a fuck about the money. That's like I literally don't. That's I don't get paid for the podcast, and I don't really get paid for the book anymore because I don't care about the money. I purposely don't get paid for it. I just want to heal people because I know once upon a time I needed to hear a person like Anton. I needed to read a book that can help save my life. Um, so yeah, so when I talk about the book, y'all, trust me, I'm not like one of those people who are just talking about it to get funds off of it. I don't get any money from it. And I make it that way on purpose. Um, this it's payment enough knowing that someone was inspired or that someone decided to be on this earth one more day because they saw that they weren't alone. That's what I care about. Um, and if y'all go listen to season one, you will also hear why I hate money. Hate it. But yes, okay, I got emotional. I'm about to start crying, which is a beautiful thing. But with that being
Nothing wrong
said,
with crying.
folks, right? This has been another episode of Vulnerability Time. I will see y'all next episode. Let's see what we will be talking about next episode. Let's see. Episode 8 will be the topic is when the dust settles. Y'all don't want to miss that one. All right. So tune in next week, folks. And Anton, can you say goodbye to us, but like in Swedish?
Hej då.
Oh my God, that is so cool. What? That is so cool. Okay, you stay on. I'm gonna like hang up the recording. Hey there, if you liked this episode, go ahead and buy my book on Amazon. What the book is called, type it on Amazon. It is Spoken by Trenton Epizon. Epizon is spelled Epizon. I really would appreciate the support. Give it a review, give it a buy, give it a try, and I promise you, you will not be upset at it. It is a poetry book. It is a very easy, quick read, and it definitely will give you some healing and some insight and some wisdom on abuse, mental health, recovery, the tragedy to triumph. You will love it. Give it a buy, give it a try, and recommend the book and this episode with others. Go ahead and give this podcast a follow and share it with others. You could be the reason that someone is alive tomorrow because you decided to share this episode today. This podcast is about saving lives, healing ourselves and others, and encouraging others and ourselves as well. Thank y'all so much for the support. Love y'all. I life y'all. I will see y'all next episode. You are valuable. You are beautiful. You are still on this earth because you have the strength. Thank you. Bye, folks.